Before we start, I suggest you click on a button. This one, right? You trust me? Good stuff. Secondly, I suggest you subscribe if you're not subscribed. YouTube say a lot of you guys watch videos, but you're not subscribed. Thank you. My name is Zack. If we don't know each other, thank you for coming here. We want you here. We like you here. This is family. Here, you're gonna come out replenished. No doubt about it. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. Today, we're gonna go very quickly. Top court in the world, the ICJ has rejected a request from Sudan against UAE over alleged complicity on a genocide happening in Sudan. Basically, we're gonna try to break this down because it's complex, but I know we can understand each other. I trust you. Number one, I know there are many smart people here. You know a lot of things. You got degrees and stuff like that. Not everybody has that. There are many people out here that don't necessarily have that. And the reason why they come here is because they can understand me, because I break it down simply for the normal everybody. So let's be patient with each other as we progress. The goal is for everybody to understand what's happening. I know in normal news, they speak so much English and people go like, yeah, what is he talking about? And you lose interest. You need to know what's happening in Sudan right now. Let's break it down. The top United Nations court on Monday threw out Sudan's case against United Arab Emirates over alleged complicity in genocide during the brutal civil war. Sudan filed a case at the World Court on March 5th, accusing UAE of violating the 1948 Genocide Convention by providing support to the paramilitary Rapid Support Force, the RSF, allegedly committing atrocities against Malasite ethnic group in Sudan. Simple word. Sudan has taken UAE to court. UAE is where Dubai is. Yes, Sudan is right here on the map. They've taken them to court, to the ICJ, over complicity in genocide happening in Sudan. Sudan, the army has taken Dubai to court for sending weapons, ammunition, money, and support to this group here named the RSF. And Sudan accusing the RSF of conducting genocide among Malasite ethnic people in Sudan. Now, who are the Malasite? Malasite are African, like you and I, and the RSF are Arabs in most cases. The war between the government and the RSF has unalived over 85,000 people. And you're probably asking yourself, why are they unaliving each other? We're going to find out right now. Now, this man and that man used to work together, but then they fell out because of money. I'm going to explain. So this man, Hamedi, and that man, Burhan, initially worked together to oust the then president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, in 2019 following an uproar and a popular protest in the street. Why did people protest? People protested because of the price of bread that rose. Yes. So bread became more expensive and people were angry. They were tired. It had been a long time. The population was poor, unhappy, and depressed. They wanted something brand new. Who is al-Bashir? Al-Bashir became president many years before through a coup d'etat, so he also took power by force, and they kicked him out by force. Now, let's get back on track. This man from the army, the general, was the general of the army of al-Bashir, natural general, government army. This man here, Hamedi, the leader of RSF, also worked for al-Bashir, but he was the head of a militia. Al-Bashir, even though he had the army, he also had a small militia that worked for him. Whenever people rose against him, he sent the militia to go and unalive people. So let's talk about this militia. This men come from the Jawawid. The Jawawid are an Arab nomad militia group operating in the Sahel region. And usually when a group of people was not happy with the president and felt suppressed from the government, felt abandoned by the system, felt poor, and rose in anger against the government, he sent the Jawawid to go and suppress them, beating, unaliving, raping women really bad. Now, the majority of people who claimed that they were mistreated were black. Oh, let me explain to you. Sudan has two major groups, the Arabs and the blacks in the south. Just remember here, we're talking about Sudan. Today, there's North Sudan and South Sudan. Let's talk about Sudan before they're separated. During the British-Egyptian rule in 1899 to 1958, Sudan was administered as two regions, the Muslim Arab-dominated north and the predominantly African Christian animist in south. The British governed them separately, fostering distinct identity and limiting interaction, which sowed seeds of division. So initially, the British came to Sudan. They took it over, okay, British and Egyptian, leading the two groups in two different complete ways. The north were Muslim Arabs, the south was black, Christian, and animist. Clear-cut different groups, and this obviously drew them apart. The North received more investment in infrastructure, education, administration, while the South was largely neglected, creating economic disparities that persisted post-independence. So the North, inhabited by Arabs and Muslims, was well taken care of, while the South, where the black people, Christian and animist, was completely neglected. Well, I'm sure you heard about Darfur, right? Where many people were unalive, millions of people lost their lives, tens of millions of people displaced. How did the conflict start? The Darfur conflict resulted in the unaliving of 300,000 people and the displacement of 1 million, primarily targeting African ethnic groups in the region through attacks by government force and the Janjaweed militias. Remember, we spoke about the Janjaweed. The Janjaweed is where the leader of the RSF comes from. So the Janjaweed at the time were sent by the government to unalive Africans, or people looking like me and you. And about 300,000 people were unalived. Why were they unalive? Because they were asking for better treatment. They asked for hospital, road, schools, and infrastructure. And again, the great majority of these people were black. Many were beaten, tortured, raped, abducted, completely humiliated. So that was basically the response of the government of al-Bashir in response to the request of the black people of Sudan. Right after that, black people were tired. They said they want separation. And about 96% of them signed to leave to create a different country. That is when they slashed the countries, and many of the black people created what we call today South Sudan. But that was the result of many unaliving of black people. Now, there's a clear cut between Sudan and South Sudan. Are there still black people living in Sudan? Yes, there are. Many of them could not leave because their history is linked to the land where they stayed. Many of them are embedded in a culture. Because Islam and the law of Sharia, which was used in northern Sudan, many black people Arabized themselves. They became Arabs. They adopted Islam. They sometimes changed names. They spoke Arabic. Were they completely accepted? Absolutely not. There were also some of those people that were born of different parents. One was Arab, the other was black. Most of them stayed in Sudan. Now, one of the men that led the massive unaliving of dark-skinned looking Sudan people is this man. At least the group where he came from. They were the loyal servant of the president at the time. Until 2019, where people were tired of it. That is when the National Army and his private mercenaries came together to oust him of power. In fact, there were three groups of people. There was the army led by Burhan, the RSF led by Ahmedi, and the civilians. The goal was, let's overthrow the government. We're going to merge together, then get the civilian to be the president. But as time progressed, after they overthrew the government, both of these soldiers wanted to be the leaders. Number one, they were struggling for military power. Who was going to be the boss of whom? None of them wanted to let the other one lead. Number two, by creating a neutral government, the RSF was going to merge into the army. And by doing so, they were going to become under the influence, under the authority of Burhan. And Ahmedi did not want that because he knew finally he wasn't going to have any more power left with him. The civilians with no weapon were shut down immediately. That is when the war started again because both parties, the defense force and the RSF, were fighting each other. Now, how does EAU come into this party? EAU has been allegedly sponsoring the RSF by sending them weapons, finance, and multiple aid. And in the meantime, Burhan's group, the defense group, is also being supported by different other countries. Now, the reason why you see South Sudan exist today is in part because of the situation between the Arabs and the blacks. South Sudan is a country was created where a lot of black people went down and created their own government. But then sadly, later after, they started unaliving each other because of power. Fellas, this is a very interesting story. We can go much in-depth detail so you can understand every little thing, but we cannot do it here because of YouTube policies. But for some of us who follow us on private, let's see each other on the group so we can continue. Finally, the army accused Dubai of participating in genocide because the RSF is unaliving other people amongst black people, really bad. And the Criminal Court of Justice in the world said they do not have jurisdiction over Dubai. I'm going to say Dubai so everybody understand. How is that possible? Because before you bring a third person to come and be the judge of your situation, both parties need to allocate him with the power that he needs in case of trouble. So after World War II, most of the countries signed into an agreement giving the United Nations authority, should they ever be involved in genocide, another country can take them to court and they will have to pay for it. In 2005, when Dubai joined, they did not sign that clause. They did not agree to it. They signed everything else, or most of the things, but that specific clause that gives the ICJ jurisdiction over countries, they did not sign that one. Why did they not sign that one? Question mark. Is that because they knew they were going to do things in the future that will bring them to justice? Question mark. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.